Members, we're now going to turn it over to the Vice Chair. This is item number 9, SB 241, on voluntary contribution funds. I want to take a moment to say thank you to the Vice Chair for all of his work on this. Senator Moorlach, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, colleagues. Thank you for allowing me to focus on voluntary contributions or voluntary contribution funds known as VCF, or in our case, affectionately known as VolleCons. The previous chair, Senator Hertzberg, held a hearing on voluntary contributions in Los Angeles. We learned that this major component of the California State Income Tax Form 540, page-wise, could use some serious improvements. Mr. Chair, you have been an outstanding leader in providing direction and guidance on this unique endeavor. We are both charitably inclined and desire California's nonprofits to thrive, especially when the benefit of tax deductibility has been reduced in recent months. Allow me to share how Senate Bill 241 will turbocharge VolleCons and assist our critical nonprofit sector. Mr. Chair, let me begin by first accepting the committee amendments. As you are likely aware, we are seeing a decline in donations to the voluntary contribution program. I recently spoke to a large gathering, a conference of certified public accountants, and asked them how many were even advising or mentioning voluntary contributions in the tax organizers that they provide to their clients. Out of some 200 present, only 2 raised their hands. The Franchise Tax Board data confirms that there's only about a 2% participation rate with voluntary contributions. A few years ago, even TurboTax failed to include the voluntary contributions in their software. Enrolled agents are also ignoring this opportunity in advising their clients. Each of the current funds have been added through legislation. It can be seen as unfair to only allow charities who have relationships with members of the legislature to be eligible to receive donations, a case of it's who you know, and how influential in lobbying an organization is. The Franchise Tax Board notes that roughly $4 to $6 million is contributed each year, and that $4 to $6 million does not seem to increase or decrease by a wide margin. Therefore, the same people seem to be donating. However, more funds are added to the program each year. If we do not increase the number of contributors, the amount each fund will receive will decrease every year. And as those that receive these donations know, the privacy laws prevent contributor data dives. You don't even know who is actually contributing to your funds, so you can't solicit them on an annual basis. But to make this program successful, we need more motivating factors. That's the intent of SB 241. Increasing the number of charities who are eligible to participate should increase the number of donors. You get the nonprofit industry to share their identification number with their members through marketing. They can utilize social media campaigns, mailers, and promote their cause at meetings. The entire program should be marketed in a more effective way, and by increasing eligibility, I believe we can achieve that success. Out of 5 pages, the voluntary contribution programs take up an entire page. How long until we add more and have to add a 6th page? Each of the funds that are currently listed with the program are worthy causes, but I believe there are many other charities who are also worthy. They just don't have friends in the legislature who can add them to the list. In order to expand the contribution options for taxpayers who participate in the voluntary contribution program, this bill makes several procedural changes, such as it eliminates the current repeal dates for the California Firefighters Memorial Fund and the California Peace Officers Memorial Fund. It requires the Franchise Tax Board to develop an application to allow charities who apply to be included in the program. It defines qualifications that charities must meet in order to participate. And in order to participate, charities must complete the application, which includes bank account information, evidence of qualifications, and an application fee. Charities must continue to meet qualifications, fill out a renewal application, and pay renewal fees in order to continue to participate. If charities no longer meet qualifications, their eligibility will be revoked. If eligibility is revoked, charities may reapply to the program after 1 year. Taxpayers may contribute to more than one charity. It establishes the California Voluntary Contribution Fund in the state treasury to receive contributions. It requires the Franchise Tax Board to notify the state controller the dollar amount individuals donated to the fund. It requires the Franchise Tax Board to create individual identification numbers for each participating charity. It requires the Franchise Tax Board to create and maintain a searchable website for charities to be listed where taxpayers may find the charity's identification number. It requires the Franchise Tax Board to create a new field on the tax form for taxpayers to enter the identification number of their desired charity and donation amount. The funds currently listed on the tax form will continue to be listed until their already previously scheduled repeal date. Once all funds with an expiration date have expired, the Franchise Tax Board will list the top 7 grossing funds from the previous year and the 3 permanent funds, the California Special Seniors Fund, the California Firefighters Memorial Fund, and the California Peace Officers Memorial Fund on the tax form. The top 7 grossing funds that will be listed will be revolving year to year based on the previous year's contributions, and it requires the Franchise Tax Board to create and report to the legislature an annual report to track the fund costs and contribution levels. It also allows the state auditor to audit the fund if necessary, and it establishes reasonable fees to cover the costs of administering the program. And because it's a big endeavor, Mr. Chair, we have delayed the implementation date to 2021. Members, thank you for indulging me on this project. This reform should help the existing funds and increase the amount of contributions by filers, and I urge your support and your I vote on SB 241.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. And I want to recognize the Vice Chair for wading into this. Some call it a swamp. There are a lot of moving parts on this bill. There's only one individual in this legislature that's willing to be able to tackle this issue, and that's been the Vice Chair, Senator Morlock. I want to acknowledge you, your hard work, your willingness to be able to meet with all sides, understanding that not always going to be able to bring consensus, but trying to be able to have a data-driven approach to this important issue for many charities across the state of California. I want to thank you. Thank you for working with us. It has been an absolute pleasure, sir. Would like to be able to see if there are any individuals who would like to be able to speak in support of this bill. If you could please come forward at this time. We're going to do one call for support. Last call, support. All right. We now would like to be able to see if there's anyone who may be opposed. If you could please come forward at this time. Last call for support. Bring it back to committee. We have a motion by the good senator from San Jose. Again, Mr. Vice Chair, and determined to be able to make this right. Thank you for your compromise. Thank you for your due diligence. And thank you for being open and transparent and working with all sides to try to drive consensus. Grateful for it. It's something that you've been talking about now for the past couple of years. And I'm going to allow you to close, sir. And I want us to end it as I started it, saying thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you for being such a great teammate. It takes a team to work on something like this, and you have been an outstanding chair, and it's an honor to be your vice chair. I also want to thank the committee members for the vigorous debate today. And I think this is going to invigorate the nonprofit community. It should get a lot of social media attention, and we'll have some fun with this section of the 540, and I respectfully request an aye vote on SB 241.
Ladies and gentlemen, the motion that was brought forward by Senator Bell is a do pass as amended to appropriations. Ms. Lanchester, roll call, please.
McGuire.
Aye.
McGuire, aye. Morlock.
Aye.
Morlock, aye. Bell. Bell, aye. Hertzberg. Hurtado. Nielsen. Weiner. 3-0.
That currently enjoys a 3-0 vote. We're going to keep the roll open